Alright. What's up and welcome. Dreadlock Pac here, aka Big Brain, Warlock Main, and today I hope to entertain. Alright, make sure we got the vocals right and everything. Welcome one, welcome all, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hope you're doing fine, fantastic, swell, as always. Hope things going your way. If they not, try to, it's going to be funny saying this now, right? But try to take that, plant a seed, right? And then you'll see where it grows from there. You never know, man. As a wise one once told me, transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. Ah, man, it's going to be, the philosophical warlock rant gonna be different now that we done ran rid of nightmares now, right? But I hope everybody's doing swell and fine. Let's see. Today I was gonna play with the warlock. Actually, we still need to play with the warlock, honestly. I wanted to play with Big Daddy Shaxx and finally get the story done. But I guess we'll start off with the warlock since we didn't do the thing yesterday. Go ahead, make sure we up to date with the story, and then I guess we can pivot from there. It's whatever Wednesday, right? But hope everybody else's Wednesday going pretty all right. Let's go ahead and shoot to the tower as usual, man. But how did everybody like Root, man? I've seen a lot of happy talks on the socials and whatnot. A lot of day one. Oh, well, I guess it's day 2 technically, but still, it's still very nice to see that a lot of people was able to get their feet wet in the raid area. People that normally wouldn't, and people that were actually still proficient at it, they was able to achieve their goals and stuff, man. It's very nice to see, as always. But overall, I love it, man. I'm putting it up there as definitely one of my personal my list. One of my personal favorites, man. Just for reference, I really love King's Fall, Crown of Sorrow, and definitely this one. Not to say that the other ones aren't up there as well, but the reasons I love those in particular is because when I think of raids, right? I think of like a whole scope or whatever. On any list, right? I think it's very one of the things that I love to see is when you set a metric on how you're rating something, right? Like you could have your favorite actor, or your favorite rapper, or song singer, right? But the thing is, what's the metric? What is, because everybody got different metrics and what they rating it at. And what I like is, the theme, how difficult it was, right? But how skillful is it to execute, and then difficulty as well, right? And with those raids in particular, especially Crown, it's just like rapid, all action, non-packed, right? And it also incorporates everyone to learn the mechanics of the raid. That's a big one on me too. I love when a raid or anything in general requires the whole group to work together, right? Like you could put somebody on ad clear, but by the time you get to like the final setting, right? If you didn't teach that person anything, it's like, all right, now you got to pull out the book, now you got to pull out the diagram, right? You gotta over explain and stuff. Whereas if you would have involved them earlier, what's up, Sam? How you doing, man? If you would have involved them earlier, then the process would just be so much easier. And that's why I really love Crown, because like from the get go, boom, you gotta know the mechanics and stuff. And so like you didn't have to do that with this raid, but the same thing. By the time you got to the jumping puzzle, right? If you didn't teach anybody anything, it's like, all right, bro, where my wife at? You feel me? So like, I love how that really puts the toll on your stuff. I think my main gripe, as what everybody's is, right, is like for a boss, is Sam said chilling at work right now. How about you? Oh, I'm trying to hit the stream up, man. Going ahead to tackle the story today. We're gonna see what's cracking with a good old season of Defiance and chit chat, rant about the raid and stuff, man. As always, do my usual little rants, my warlock rants. But I love Nezrak's health. Yeah, that's the main thing, right? Like I think if his health would have been chunkier, it would have been better. But then again, at the same time, we coming off of a different swing of power creep where everyone is using some font of might-esque ability, right? Like beforehand, it would be like, did I finish the raid on day 1? Nah, we got to planets, right? We got to planets, and then it was a mixture between just fatigue and then personally, I didn't have a fully optimized loadout. I think like we was getting to damage, but we wasn't getting to damage consistently enough to do enough damage, type deal. So it was like we was either down on res or whatnot. So, but overall, the experience was really good, man. I ran with the clan. It was pretty good, man. We spent I think it spent like 16 hours in there total, something like that. I checked. But yeah, it was definitely definitely an experience. But as far as what I've seen with the boss health, man, that would be like the main thing I would say is changes. Like, because you fighting a boss. But like I was saying with the Fawn of Might thing, back in the day, you would have to use Fawn of Might with the same class and the same fragments, right? So you would have to use like what, Taipan or Cataclysm is probably the easiest one because you got bait switch and more people would use solar, right? So that's more viable. But in this meta, you could just rock whatever with the surge mod. So I think they didn't take that fully into account. But at the same time, they will take that into account in the future. I hope, right, with the damage and whatnot. But I love the mechanics and everything and the whole theme on it, man. He said on day 1 I got the planets and on day 2 I got the NES, but after 5 hours on NES, my power went out. Oh man, and your game kept crashing. Let's see. Let me see what you said. You said your game kept crashing, so you gave up. Dang, man. Well, at least did you enjoy the experience though overall? Like that's what I mainly ask most people, right? Like whether nothing's perfect, so you're gonna have your gripes here and there, but like did you enjoy the experience? Me, from a lore perspective, I'm a sucker for all of that, and I can't wait to see where it's going, because like I was telling the homies earlier, it's like all we've been beating up, man, is the witnesses chumps, you know what I'm saying? Like the main threat would probably be your boy Roke, but everybody else been chumps, you know what I'm saying? Nezarek was falsely revived, right, by the Traveler and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see where it goes from here, though, for sure. Let me see. Okay, so we need to do the story real quick. Let me focus up real quick. Let me I guess we'll run. I'll run this one right here. He said, yeah, it was cool. Beat it like 3 times at the contest mode. Yeah, I got in there twice. That's why I need to level up my Titan, because that was the goal, is to actually get the run in there 3 times and get the loot. But we did get the auto rifle, man. I was super stoked about that. I didn't get the one let me hold up real quick. I didn't get the one I wanted because of course I wanted one with rewind rounds, right? But we ended up getting a pretty few rolls. I ended up spinning up all my spoils and ended up getting 2 red borders so far. So I'm definitely gonna tackle it every week until I knock out all the red borders. Yeah, any red borders? Yeah, I ended up getting 2 of them. I got the auto rifle and the sidearm. No red border on the sidearm, no, but these are auto rifles I got. Reconstruction Frenzy. I'm falling in love with it. You know I'm an auto rifle fanatic and a trace rifle fanatic. They didn't bless me with the trace rifle though, but hopefully when we get in there this week. And then we got this one right here, Demolitionist Target Lock. So, but I can't wait to craft it, because the first thing I'm gonna craft is rewind rounds and target lock, and I'm gonna slap it on my Actium Warwick Titan, yeah. Like that's gonna be the first thing I do is for the memes. It's just run in there and just be pelting bullets like fake sweet business. Oh man. Alright, so let's see what this on the story. Alright, Vexcalibur. Oh, this is the Vexcalibur thing. As before, the view screen on the war table flickers as it displays the corrupted message. Yeah, see, we gotta get the catalyst for this too. I actually use this a lot during the day 1, man, because I was basically on defense most of the time, and the Vexcalibur, oh man, it was giving the overshields and I had card stands on. Yeah, I was mopping up with Strand. That shit was so fun, yo. The message vanished, but you get the distinct impression that the Vexcalibur can now interface with the restrictive access gates that you encountered during the Avalon node. Alright, and this is the second one right here. The screen cuts abruptly to black before fading into a reassuring Vanguard logo. You sense that somewhat dormant, and the Vexcalibur has been activated and the weapon is ready for another upgrade. Alright. See, I knew I should have came.
Hail, Queen's Guard.
What's up, girl?
I felt you reaching out. You shine as a beacon.
Yeah, you know you did. Got that
power.
light.
Maintaining my connection is demanding, but by observing your astral wake, I am discovering ways through the ley lines that have never been charted before.
I'm telling you, man, I'm a
As
navigator.
you move through the ascendant plane, you consecrate it on a paracausal level. Its borders fray and yield to your touch, The corruption within withers as you approach. For someone of your ability, one step through that darkness can equal 1,000 on this plane. 10,000. 10 million.
Oh, choose a number, man.
A Shadow Legion prison ship drifts above us, amidst the stars, far beyond our range. Or so they believe. Come to me and I shall open a path. Show them. Nothing is outside your reach.
Hey, that's all you had to say, baby Marsov. You know we going through. I'm awoken too. All right, we stand unbroken. Mara welcomes you with an unexpected suggestion. Using the astral plane to pursue the Shadow Legion into space. By observing your astral wake, I am discovering ways through the ley lines that I have never tried before, she says. As you move through the astral plane, through the ascended plane, you concentrate on a paracausal level. She's saying my footsteps is majestic. It borders phrase, and yields to your touch. The corruption within withers as you approach. For someone of your ability, one step through the darkness can equal 1,000 on this plane. 10,000, 10 million. Yes, sir. She asked you to report back when you are ready. Show them nothing is outside of your reach. I have to work on my Marisol voice. I ain't that regal yet, man. She got me beat. She's super classy. Okay. Infiltrate the Shadow Legion prison in the Defiant Battleground over the prison and launch this activity in EDZ through the destinations task. All right, Chief, got you. What upgrades can we get this time? First season of Defiance weapon you decode each week will have deep sight resonance. That's perfect. Spending a Defiant key at the end of the season of Defiance Battleground, which you receive. Nah, I don't care about reputation like that. Once we craft all these weapons, baby, that's one thing that hopefully they do work all right. I really should do like a feedback video, because just sit there and collect like all the like proper feedback and stuff, because I like the base foundation they be having, man, but like a lot of the smooth stuff can be flowed over. Like I feel like the Enclave is a really big missed opportunity, man, but we'll dive all into that. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be rant today, so whatever rant Wednesdays. There was something else. Okay, so since I can focus one, we need to focus. Yeah, the Royal Executioner, right? Yeah, it was the last we needed. Oh, look, they even keep it highlighted for you. See, that's like nice quality of life stuff. Like one of the things that I'm gonna touch on, which made me think about it, right, is that in past seasons they would give you the upgrade where you could get 2 perks on a weapon, right? Which was awesome. With a hoarder like me, that saves on vault space, and the odds of me getting a roll that's double useful is fantastic. But the problem is, I can craft that weapon. And when I can craft it, I'm still gonna make that because the weapon is better. Now, if they would have implemented or kept that solution and I could enhance those perks, then that upgrade is insanely more valuable. You see what I mean? But instead, I'm just unlocking the upgrade because I'm unlocking the upgrade. So, but yeah, just thinking about this stuff. All right, Sam, do what you need, man. I guess we'll save up the rest of our engrams because we do need to get that sword and the shoddy, because yeah, not this sword. We'll get this when we get it, but the shoddy is really what I need to start locking down. We haven't gotten any borders on those, so all right. Go ahead and infiltrate the Shadow Legion. Let's go see what we got on these rolls real quick. But yeah, I really need to play on my type, man, because it's for a few reasons, honestly. There we go. Finally got that unlocked. And then when we get on the shoddy bang, all right, threat detector surrounded. Oh, we got the nice, yeah, we got the perfect here, but everything else. He's like, she said, make sure they aren't on your front porch. Oh, I guess we got to go talk to Amanda, huh? All right, let's see. Yeah, we'll probably, okay, so, here, I'll try this one out. I didn't get the exact one I was wanting, man, but I'm definitely not complaining the way these weapons are feeling so far. I really wanted that the trace rifle, but it's all good. I think it comes in the I think it was the second phase after I seen it. So, but I'm definitely gonna be running Master, man. As fun as that raid is, dude. It's gonna make me want to min-max my loadouts too. Cause day one felt good. I like the pain. I like the squeeze they put on you, right? Like everybody had to be on point. When you heard Guardian down, it was like, all right, yo, who is that? Who ain't got resist on? Oh man, it's like you actually had to cover the homies and stuff like that. But Yeah, I liked it, man. I liked it a lot. It's definitely up there. I think no one was disappointed when we got to third phase, the planning room, man. When you actually hit that corner and cross that threshold, it was like, oh man, we in here. It's like, yeah, it's very nice touch, artistically. At first, I was gonna say that I was disappointed that there wasn't a prophecy wall compared to Val, and I still wish there was like a prophecy wall or something like that, but I think the raid itself is telling you a story when you really
The
look
newest
deep enough
Shadow
at it.
Legion
So
prison is all the way up in orbit.
I'll touch more on
That's
that
too
in a
hot to
minute.
drop, even for me.
Focus on this part of the
Distance
story.
is no obstacle for one traversing the Ascendant Plane.
That's right.
Show them, Guardian.
The Shadow Legion believe the vacuum of space will prevent our infiltration.
I bet
Okay.
they've got everyone on anti-air defenses. Looking out for
Anti-air.
drop ships.
Oh snap!
Last
But you
thing
better
you'll
watch
expect
out. They got
is
the
Guardian popping
AC-130
out of a
inbound.
wall, guns blazing.
Our coalition makes even the miraculous possible.
All right, we got this. But yeah, I guess yeah, like I was saying with Crown of Sorrow, man, like the fact that that raid made everybody learn the mechanics, I really liked it. Cause that boss phase, right? Like you got some speedy runners, you don't even need to learn it. But at the same time, if you don't, you gonna wish that they knew the mechanic. Cause he gonna hit you with that white phase. So I definitely like. I see on the flip side, I like how short his health is, right? Because like from a farming perspective, that's gonna be great, right? Like when we need to farm spoils,
They're the key to breaking through their defenses.
it's gonna be really good on that end, right? So. But the loot, man, the loot's so good. Yeah, overall, I'll give it a good. I definitely give it a good score. It's up there in my books. Definitely can't wait to actually learn it in and out, so I can start doing some runs myself. I read too with the LMGs over the past few weeks. Ran on my hunter and I had a pretty alright time. It's interesting to see how people do third phase differently though, as far as like calling numbers in place and stuff. I'm of the class though that at one point I just realized that eventually you just talking to your partner. So as long as you and your partner's on the same page, I don't care if he calling one side chicken and you calling it duck, right? Like I'm not talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as they get the planets right, you know, it's all good. But yeah, I definitely see why people started breaking down, man. It's like people ain't know how to read their horoscopes. you get to third phase, dog. Oh man. Oh man, that joke was too funny. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I like the boss tank mechanic though that they had with Nezarec. That really it put me in the mind of caretaker, right? And something like World of Warcraft when you actually had to have a tanker, you know, to grab its aggro. Like I really like that. Definitely interesting to see how they pull off the master version. I wonder how if it's gonna be any more champions or if they're gonna do like King's Fall and just add like just add one. Well, actually, in King's Fall, yeah, that's right. Cause they'll do more than that. Cause the plates on what's his face? The plates on Oryx had more. So let's see, destroy the blights. What do we need to destroy more of the blight? Oh, okay, I see. But Strand was there. I really enjoyed using Strand during the raid. Definitely think Strand Lock is growing on me. I like his technicality and stuff like that. The moment I can craft this auto rifle though, it's a wrap because I'm gonna be trying to lock down what is it? Enhanced Demolitionist. And then probably, man, there's so many good rolls too. That's the thing too, right? It's like it's hard to get a bad roll on those weapons. Like if you're looking for something specific, you can still, eventually craft it, right? But you got Threadlings on the right slot and that Paracausal Affinity. I'm really liking the sound of that perk. It sounds like an ability version of Harmony, right? So I know they're moving away to wanting us to spec all into a certain class, but if you wanted to spec into a certain DPS type, you could, and it'd pay off with that. So I'm really liking that. I actually think I ended up getting one with it. And then, yeah, my favorite perk, right? One of my favorite perks, right? Thresh is in the left slot, yo. So enhanced Thresh on Battle Harmony? Oh my god! Yeah, we gonna turn the stove on this season. We gonna be cooking. We gonna be cooking with some bills, man. I can't wait. So yeah.
Never seen anyone get that high up without a ship before. Hope the Guardian doesn't get vertigo.
The thought of jumping those chasms puts me right off. My belfry is plenty high enough, thank you.
Didn't
Yeah,
you used to
I'm
be a
with Devin,
paratrooper, Devram?
I was, and I'm not keen to repeat the experience.
Right? Just because I used to be don't mean I like doing it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. That's like saying, I used to telemarket. What, don't you like being on the phone? Nah. Oh, man. I used to be a hunter. I hear you foolish. Oh, snap. But yeah, rerun rounds on the Titan with Actia War Rig, and it's a 720. Ooh. I'm also liking too, like these are archetypes that like I won't say they're slept on, right? But like these aren't the most acclaimed archetypes or go-to picks for most people, right? They're definitely they lean closer to the niche category. And I love the fact that they're getting shine simply because of, they're really good. It goes to show you that, man, a lot of archetypes and weapons are good. They just need the right set of either A, perks on them, or B, just stat package. And I think these weapons hit both marks. Especially that sidearm too, I think is underrated too. It has Unrelenting in the left slot, and I think I gotta check again, but I'm pretty sure it has something like Frenzy, and I know it has the Paracausal perk on it. So like Unrelenting is really good anytime it's in the artifact, especially this season, right? Anti-barrier. So you'll be able to utilize Unrelenting to help stay alive in hard content. But now I see, right? Like now I see why the story went the way it went, and they did lean heavily into the raid and the aspects of it. So it still feels like we're at a net plus 0.5, right, as far as the story goes. So I think they're gonna lean heavily into these upcoming seasons as far as the direction where the story is gonna be. Because just as we started speculating when we seen the trailer, right, like the we weren't able to access the where the witness went, right? I keep calling it the veil, and I probably will for some time until they give us the keyword to differentiate it. But we weren't able to go. We still don't know what the veil is initially. We got a little bit of context on it now, right? Like we know that it was on Nezarek's ship. It was very important to the witness, right? Because the witness apparently needed it because the witness used it, right, in the end of the campaign to do what it did. So it was like we've come to find out that Savathun stole it and whisked it away to Neptune after she bodied Nezarek and cursed his body. That's crazy, bro. Well, Savathun out here, straight up savage, dude. But yeah, so we still don't even have any context, which would explain why them on Neptune and Neomuna would that's why I was getting a Clovis Bray and the Star Collective vibes, right? Because they were studying it and trying to understand what it was and whatnot. And so I'm pretty sure that context will start to expand in the coming seasons and whatnot, which is very interesting. Which reminds me, I need to do the Deterministic Chaos mission. I've been avoiding some videos because I know it got to do with the Black Heart and stuff, and I haven't been wanting to be spoiled personally. So that's probably something we'll do again later on this week.
Ghost got us the intel we needed. Looks like the prisoners are in the hangar bay.
I just intercepted some comms chatter. The Shadow Legion are pulling gunships back in support.
Yeah, things are heating up out there. Let's get this done before the whole fleet shows up.
But yeah, I'm loving how smooth and especially since this auto rifle is strand as well. Yeah, it's this way, buddy. So it can synergize a lot with the Warlock builds and whatnot. And then the design of the armor stuff, they're not like for me personally, but at the same time I gotta appreciate the uniqueness of it, man. Like that armor set really feels like it's raid material, right? Like it feels like they went back to their roots of of you wearing your boss's armor, right? Like that's exactly what it feels like. But the whole symmetry of the raid, man, it gives me more hope that a character like Ulantan actually might be back on the forefront, especially since in the planet room, right, they had the 3 planets that oh snap, they had the 3 planets that we quote unquote got sunset, right? They had Mercury, Titan, and Io there. So if there's any indication of like if that's the wish wall of Ron, you know what I'm saying? Like that's maybe we'll get those planets back. I'm thinking. Because when you think about it, we were, from a lore perspective, right? We were literally moving those planets in that encounter. So I think of it like, I guess, anime logic, right? You would say, is that when we tackled the raid, we did certain tasks, right? You know what I'm saying? Just like when we defeated Rook, right? Like, we literally defeated Rook, and now we were vying over control of the pyramid with the scoring. And so I think with the way we did that raid, you know, like literally moving the planets, as Savathun said, that tricky double, right? But, I'm thinking like maybe now we actually move those planets back into our existence, right? Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see what they do with the story and stuff. But very interesting, very interesting. Welcome back, Sam. Welcome back. But I really love the overall aesthetic and stuff for the lore. So like I said, I hope it gives me hope that someone like Ulantom might come back into the game, or at least his character or something like that. His philosophy, you know, about having to have light and dark. I find it extremely interesting the way they're going with the storytelling. I'll probably touch on it more and more in the next few days because I want to familiarize myself with more of the lore and stuff. He said, I hope Titan comes back, man. That's what I was just talking about too, about how we move the planets in the raid, and how like from an anime logic perspective, maybe you know, Akora or you know, someone smarter than us, right? That isn't really concerned about the loot, they figure out a way to actually reestablish those planets in our solar system, you know. But yeah, I'm really enjoying how they did all of that stuff. Especially, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to Titan at some point because Winterbite talks about something hidden on Titan, and I'll bet you, or not bet you, but I wonder that whatever's hidden on Titan, if it's associated with the Veil, simply because I think Titan is associated with Neptune by extension because of arcology, and they're just like they're very similar in architecture and stuff, right? So I think someone like Clovis Bray or the Ishtar Collective would have something to do with if there's anything that would be on there that would be like hidden or talked about, it would be they would be connected in that sense, I think. He said there were some rumors that the vendor from Titan was going to be a big part of next season. I could see that, especially if the planet itself came back. I could definitely see Sloan. But yeah, I'm thinking on the lines of like, okay, we didn't know the Veil was up there, right? But obviously Clovis Bray or Ishtar Collective knew. So if they were in association or working on something, then the closest planet that would know something about that would be Titan in my eyes, right? So that's where I draw a connection at. Or I could see Clovis Bray sneaky being and having something hidden on there anyway, and testing it on somewhere like Titan. So and we also know there's definitely room on that. I think we're gonna go on like a scavenger hunt this next season, collecting pieces that allow us to follow the witness, and then the closer we get to like the equivalent of season of arrivals, that's when we'll be able to like cross the threshold, so to speak, and go into the final shade. You said, I missed the Red War days, to be honest, bro. You know what? I went back and actually watched some Red War footage because someone made a really good point on a YouTube comment. I think it was a YouTube comment. It might have been a tweet, man. Everything be blended together, bro. I tell you. But someone made a really good point. They was like, we had got our light powers back from the shard that was corrupted by the darkness, and I never considered that. And it makes sense that the witness is able to mess with our ghosts if that's the case. Because I had forgot all about honestly, I blacked out about the Red War, bro. I forgot all about it. Like, because it happened so quick, right? Like, it was a major threat, but it was like, all right, bro, we got our powers back, and what? That's one of the, like, gripes with the story they be doing sometimes, I feel. But how can you make that equivalent in gameplay? But,
the resiliency of the human spirit might surprise you.
One second, let me make sure I get this right.
In this world that surprises me.
All right. Oh yeah, forget the commendations, man. But give me a second, I'll go back on that rant. But that makes sense. Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking too. But like the witness obviously has a connection with us, right? Because all the way back since Shadowkeep, like thinking at the end of Shadowkeep, I love Shadowkeep for its revelation, not so much for its gameplay and changing and everything. But if I recall, that's when they split from Activision, so it was like a clean slate in chaos. But anyway, back in Shadowkeep, we got the revelation that the pyramid ship had been on the moon for a minute. So to me, that put in context of stuff like I always go back to this, but the Thorn Quest, I look at the Thorn Quest differently because old buddy was talking about seeing nightmares on the moon. And so like I feel like that influence was on him, especially now since we know that was Nezarek's pyramid. But the whole thing was like we got the revelation of the ship. But at the end of Shadowkeep, we touched the statue, and that's when, right, we had that flashback and we was basically in the garden. And I went back and watched that cutscene too. And when the doppelganger of us pulls up and it's like, we are your salvation, that was low-key the witness, and the foreshadowing on that is insane. You go back and watch that cutscene, you can see the movements, the sway of the hands, the way the witnesses put his hands together and stuff. Like that right there was some nasty foreshadowing of witnessing the witness before we actually like come into contact and stuff. And so like on a storytelling perspective, you can kind of see how the witness uses influence to get around and get what it wants, right? And so flashback to now, the reason that we lost at the end of Lightfall, quote unquote lost, is because the witness was banking on us bodying Callus and then using our ghosts to facilitate its needs to do what it did, right? Like, think about that. The witness allowed that stuff to go down so it could use our ghosts at that moment, but it knew it could take control of our ghosts. And what caught me weird was in the middle of the campaign, it did the same thing. Remember when we had that cutscene? And our ghost basically got possessed, and it was talking like the witness, and it was talking to Callus. Yeah, that caught me strange that the witness was able to take control of our ghost. And so when that dude said that comment about us getting our powers from the corrupted shard, I was like, oh dang, bro, that did happen. And so I find it very interesting that our guardians can wield both the light and the dark, and that witness is really just using everybody as pieces and pawns and stuff, man. Beyond, I mean, the witness and the light, the traveler, right? Because at the end of the day, we still don't know how guardians became guardians, right? Like, we don't know how that moment popped off, how the ghosts split off, went and found people and started rezzing people, right? Like, what facilitated that moment too? And yeah, I just find it interesting how they tackling and going with the story, man. It is really a ride and a vibe. I'm liking it because how the Grimoire cards used to be back in the day flip to how it is now, how the narrative is going and stuff, and how you have to you don't have to be a part of it, but it definitely accentuates the ride if you're there for the seasons and witnessing some of the stuff, because it may be insignificant at the moment, but like if you remember playing it and stuff, you'd be like, oh dang, bro, that did go down like that. I forgot all about that. So it's like more context and everything just makes it feel better in the whole, I think. All right, let's see. So it's like now, yeah, we done bodied Nezarek, right? And it's funny because like that's another example. What was we doing a few seasons ago, right? We was collecting pieces of Nezarek, not even really knowing what we was doing, right? But now it makes sense because the witness was literally trying to rebuild this man's. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see what's going on.
Hey, Guardian.
What's up,
We were
man?
just grabbing a little downtime.
Okay.
Celebrate your successes, you know?
Let me get in here.
Amanda told me we must not forget to kick it back.
No, that's right. Teaching them the ways, huh?
Much and saved many lives.
That's right. There's no I in team, but there is an A and an M. Please don't tell folks I said that.
It's too late.
But yeah, we're a team. Any door I can't hack open, you splice through. We are in this together.
It is a privilege to join you. You and the Vanguard welcomed us as honored guests in your city.
Y'all getting Mithrax tipsy too?
Guests. The city is your home. When I first showed up at the gates, I felt like I belonged. That's how it should be for everyone.
I had thought you were born there.
Yeah, me too.
Nope. I got there later. Same as you.
Amanda, you know our story, but I would very much like to hear yours.
See, that's why I like Mithrax, man. He humble. He be listening to Kendrick. I know it. I'm gonna put you on some Kendrick.
I grew up on the road. Long as I could remember, my family had been walking toward the last city. My mama told me we'd be safe there. She said that was all that mattered. But at the time, all that mattered to me were the jump ships in the sky above. I thought they were the greatest thing I'd ever seen. My folks tried their best, but the road's a dangerous place. When the House of Winter attacked, my mama fought them off best she could. Even killed a captain before they shot her. Pneumonia got my daddy not long after. I'd heard tales of people resurrected, chosen for immortality, but not them. They were just gone. When I finally reached the last city, I knew my mama was right. I'd be safe there. I was finally home. I learned to fly as soon as I could reach the stick. I never had powers like the Guardians or a ghost to resurrect me. But in the cockpit, I'm every inch as tough. Now, every time I fly, I remember where I came from and who I'm fighting for. And that's all that matters.
All right. All right, man. It's nice to know where you get your roots from and stuff. See, I ain't even know all that.
Thank you, Amanda, for your story and your spirit.
Yeah, well, we've come a long way, huh?
Yes, we have.
Everything depends on the Vanguard.
And he raised his cup. And he raised his cup. All right, Meet the Rex, man. He one of the homies now. See, you didn't carry more weight when you end up losing somebody. As a fire team, generate 20 awoken favors during the fire battlegrounds activities. Oh, God, I don't even know how to do those, man. Let me fly back to the, does it tell you from the thing? Let's see. Where is that at again? That is at the, oh, yeah, it's at the helm. Does it tell me how to do awoken favors? Awoken favors. Now, let me fly to the table real quick so I can reread it. He said anime type beat. Yeah, it was though, for real, wasn't it? I always love when they do them little sketches and stuff, man. They definitely, they be killing it artistically. As I mean, if they had an anime or like a manga, I'd definitely be reading it. I guess manga is the appropriate term. That's why she be packing that chaperone. She been picking up shotgun shells since she was a kid. Stuff. All right, let's see. Which one did I choose again, man? I chose this one. Final blows with heavy ammo weapons have a chance to generate a favor. Okay, heavy ammo weapon final blows. So I guess we better use something like an LMG, right? You know what? Let's use the Thunderlord, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, I was embarrassed when I went to pull out my Thunderlord. And I was like, yo. I was like, yeah, I got the catalyst. And then I went to look at my meter. I was like, why can't I start the catalyst? It was like, oh, snap. I was like, yeah, I'll run rockets. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run rockets. So, yeah, let me work on that Thunderlord catalyst, man. Tell you, man, the boy be procrastinating. But speaking of that, we really need to run on our Titan. I keep pivoting to that because another reason I wanted to run it is because we got I want to test out this distribution dynamo setup, man, and see if it's still valid on him. Because I did it on the Hunter and it's okay, but I would definitely run a build that was more in tune with something else. But I cannot get enough of using this right now. Where is it at? I guess this is the best one to use, right? Yeah, we'll use this one. Yeah, man. I whipped out the Thunderlord like, yeah, I'm about to do big, thick DPS, and then I was like, oh man, this is not, this is not where it's at. Nah, this is not it.
The Guardian is on approach to the
But
Pyramid
yeah,
outpost
man.
now.
As long as everybody
No
have
major
fun, like
troop
that's
movements
the
to
main thing,
report.
right? Like, as long as you enjoy the
Something's
whole
up.
journey of doing
I
it and stuff.
agree. The
And now I know where I'm
now
I know where I'm gonna tinker at and stuff before what is it? I think it's September, right? September we get the reprise rage, which I'm banking that it's gonna be Wrath of the Machine, right? Like there's no way they don't do Wrath of the Machine, because out of the two they do, it'll be if they do D1s. Out of the two they do, it'll be either Wrath or it's gonna be Crota, and I don't see them doing Crota unless they change it completely, and they've been keeping them pretty consistent, so I would imagine they just go ahead and do Wrath of the Machine. Boom, got them all in here. Come up with a new exotic for Outbreak, and then yeah, that's it. At best, give us a season that's related to Siva, but I don't think they're gonna go back and revisit Siva. I think Siva was the second one. Wrath was fire. Yeah, Wrath was pretty good, man. I love the momentum of Wrath. I definitely do. I think that's, to me, that's when Rage got like, I don't want to say simple, but the mechanics felt simple. But I love the whole well, I guess it ain't that simple, honestly, but it's pretty straightforward like that. Love the armor for that. Yeah, the armor is definitely one of the best, bro. The D1 armor, I feel like, is still unparalleled, man. Like, they got some really good D2 armor, but D1 armor was just so thematic. Yeah, thematic is the best word I can say. It's like you knew with a glance that came from that raid, bro. Especially when they did Moments of Triumph. Oh man, Moments of Triumph was super fire. But yeah, I love the momentum of that, of how you had to have the buffs, and then you had to get the oh yeah, empower left, empower right. Yeah, I remember the call outs. Oh man. And the music for Wrath slap too. I remember the Jalo Supercell, man. I know we got Risk Runner, but Risk Runner ain't got nothing on Jalo, dude. Jalo was that electric AK-47, man. Jalo was so good, bro. The armor was better. Yeah, for some of it, I definitely say it was for some. I'm definitely a bigger fan of the D1 art style and aesthetic, just because of how more gritty and sci-fi it felt. It definitely felt like a space sci-fi fantasy. Like, this one feels like a laid-back anime, but it's not bad. But I do prefer it had more weight to it, you know. Like, there's nothing like running through the hellmouth your first time on D1, bro. The way how dark it is and the lanterns that you got to use for light, it's just something about that. And then when the bridge is building and the way it cuts through the ambiance of the light, woo, yeah, it's just something about that aesthetic. Like, I find it really hard to pull off a scary vibe in D2. It just doesn't come off as scary, right? Like, it feels like I'm watching like I said, a laid back anime, not without much threat. But it definitely plays 1,000 times better, bro. I went back and played D1 lately, and yeah, D2 plays. I would never go back to the play. And nah, the Crucible, nah. It did have some artistic clunkiness to it, like some Halo-ness to it, I would say. You had to make sure your stuff was timely and everything. I mean, you got to make sure it isn't here, but still, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, for sure though. Which gives me high hopes for D next. I'm gonna call it D next instead of D3. I really hope they don't name it D3. I hope they like go creative, bro, like some Destiny universe or something like that. But yeah, considering the technology and stuff that they have, because I doubt that they'll. Like, I know a lot of people want them to abandon the old gens, man, but like the way I look at it financially and stuff, like, man, it would be a fool for them to to drop the old gens, especially this late in the cycle. It's just smarter for them to finish the Light and Dark saga. Give the old gens enough time to get a new one, and then from there just drop a new one when more people will have next gen consoles, right? There's no reason to limit this, especially with all the content and the backbone they're putting into this game with the LFG systems and stuff like that. Nah, I feel your gripes because you want the game to play and be better, but you might as well just invest that time into a new one. But let's see, Sam said, I think D1 was better story-wise because it was way more mysterious. Agreed. Agreed. And see, that's the double-edged sword with it that I often find myself fighting, right? As like, I really love the Grimoire cards and how you had, like, I feel like the story back then paid off the more that you know and researched it. And like, that may be just me, but I like when the game encourages you to go and find and learn something, right? Like, one of my favorite memories of doing Easter eggs and zombies, right, is learning a cipher. Like, learning how a cipher works and learning, like, how to code and stuff. Like, that stuff was, wanting to understand the cipher made me want to learn that. And so, with the lore D1, you had to want to know it in order to go find the Grimoire cards, in order to read up on it, and then you had to go read the posts and stuff like that, and then read people's theories. And sometimes their theories wasn't even right, you know, and sometimes they didn't even know. But it was just like unspoken common thing, like Rasputin shooting down the Traveler and stuff like that. One of the most highly debated things, and now we actually know the history behind that stuff. And Fellwinter and stuff like that. But yeah, I do love that mystery and stuff, and I really wish that they, especially nowadays, man, when you can look up something so easily, I really wish they would lean more into that stuff for sure, because that's what makes it hold more stakes and stuff. When you can litter mystery and you can give people the clues to figure something out, and then you just let the story weave itself, right? Like that, I think it holds more weight when you do things like that. And I definitely loved it back then. I think, but see, at the end of the day, I think that's why what drew some people away from it, and which is why they took the route they took, right? So like, as always, that I say with feedback, just make sure you're doing your feedback proper and stuff, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, the reason they changed some stuff is because, you know, because some people couldn't follow the story, which ain't a slight to them, but this is why we got some of the story we got now. But I do think that they're trying to lean more back into that, hence the veil. But I think they leaned and banked on that a little bit too much. I think they should have gave us another red herring, or they should at least give us some type of context or some more foreshadowing of what to expect with the veil. I think the way they did it and just left it so open-ended like that created what it did, right? Because I can't, like I said, any information that has to do with the veil and stuff like that, I'm gonna be on it because I wanna understand it. I wanna know more about it, right? I wanna know why the witness did what it did and how important the veil was. And like I said, now that we know the context of the raid, you can put more context on the fact that the veil was very important because it was on Nezarek's ship during the first collapse, and Savathun really wasn't in favor. So that's gonna make me go back through this whole season and analyze all of Witch Queen and specifically the 2 lies, 2 truths, right? Stuff like the power to move worlds will soon be yours, right? The taken king will return, right? Stuff like that, man. Like, I'm gonna go back and pay attention. See, the reason why we got Strand is, well, it's because of Savathun, because she possessed Osiris, and Osiris is the one who told us, Guardian, we must go to Neptune and protect the veil. Like, he was really on that kick about the veil, but they want to tell us nothing about it. Even Nimbus and Rohan was like left in the dark. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword. More mystery, right? But at the same time, you know, but they do give us lore books now, so you just have to be somewhat knowledgeable. One thing I did find interesting though, I went back and it reminded me of this.
Did you pull them out, Queen Mara?
I did not.
Look up Deep Space Probe, right?
That ain't good.
To Titan, I believe, when Titan was evacuating. And Mylan Games has a really good video on this. This is actually what I'm referencing. And in it, I think it was like Morgan 2. It was basically like an EXO hit squad, right? And they was supposed to stop, I think, Shanice Pale from leaving. She had some type of information or research she was doing on Titan. But basically, Shanice didn't make it. I don't think she did. They apparently, the scientists that were there, the EXO squad came into them first, and the scientists basically warned Shanice, and they got on the ship, and the war sat basically split the ship in half right before it was able to take off, and the info basically stayed where it was. So I'm wondering if like a little thread like that is what's gonna lead into like hints if we get Titan back. But I definitely found that interesting that they do weave. Oh, nice, they waited on me. They'll weave stories like that. You just have to have the more context of the lore and stuff. But I love the Grimoire cards better, because with the Grimoire cards, it was like, I don't know, it was just easier to associate it. I guess it was like a Yu-Gi-Oh card or a Pokemon card with a description, right? It was just way easier to associate certain stuff together. Like, I still feel like Cade 6 and Rasputin are more connected than anything because of the Rasputin lore cards, right? Like I think on Rasputin 2 or Rasputin 3, it talks about K6 and the old Vanguard Hunter, and the Vanguard Hunter is speculating about how K6 is really Rasputin. So like anytime Rasputin and Cade is brought up, I'm automatically kind of associating them because of the old Grimoire. But yeah, man, it's a double-edged sword with that type of stuff. That's why I think if Sony does anything with now that they associated with Destiny, man, if Sony does anything, man, I hope they do it right. Ah, kind of aim you got, bro. Oh man, thank you. Which makes me wonder, guys, what kind of dungeon do you think we're gonna get next season? I'm thinking it's gonna be a hive dungeon, cause I was like, I was thinking in order, right? Cause they like to throw them at us weird, right? We got a Cabal dungeon last, so I very don't think we're gonna get. Did we get a Cabal? No, we got a Vex dungeon last, didn't we? Yeah, so it might be Fallen. We haven't gotten a Fallen dungeon since Grasp. Yeah, Fallen? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? Fallen. Yeah, probably Fallen. Probably Fallen. It's been a while, right? And Grasp was pretty much free, right? Yeah, well, not free, but like, I mean, it's free because of the mechanics in it. All you gotta do is put your super on. Maybe Taken. Oh, we could get a Taken dungeon. I forgot all about the Taken. Yeah, I forgot all about the Taken. Yeah, I would not mind a Taken dungeon, honestly, dude. I would not mind a Taken. And I think that's another good piece to recognize about this season, right? Is that this season thematically and story, yeah, while I'm fighting them, right? Story wise, this season, Lightfall, it basically gave us the narrative that the Cabal are assimilated into the Darkness Force, right? Into their ranks. You know what I'm saying? Like now that Callus is gone, of course, who is going to command the Shadow Legion except for anyone on the Fallen side, right? And so now it won't be so far out of the question if we run into like Zivu or Wrath and she leaned in with the Taken, right? How big that mag get with Reconstruction? Oh, you want to know how big my mag gets, huh? Now give me a second. Let Reconstruction hit it real quick. But God, bro, every time you hit a slope on Blink, man, is one of the worst things, I swear. Thank you, Mr. Dollar Bill. Oh, it's Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill from Players Club. Shout outs to Brady Mac, man. He certainly was a real one, bro. But let's see. It should be up in a second since I got faded. 106? Nah, that's not it, right? Nah, it's still going. I think 128. Yeah, 128 without backup. Oh, with backup mag. Yeah, that's right. 64. You know me, man. The first chance I can craft this mug, I'm testing everything. We going extended mag, enhanced backup mag, reconstruction. Honestly, rerun rounds though is going to be the play. Rerun rounds and target lock. Because reconstruction is going to be nice, but being able to just constantly shoot. Yeah, for real, that's a lot. Spread. Yeah, right. I can't wait to I was theory crafting some loadouts, but I need to get my hands on them first in order to actually see if they work, man. But so far, I'm loving the feel of this gun. Like, the feel is what's the thing. Like, it honestly made me delete two of my Karma Rushes last night. I was like, yeah, I won't need these anymore. What does rerun rounds do? So, I'm going to mess up how it says verbatim, but essentially what it does is if you're landing all of your shots, it's going to give you a portion of it back or a percentage of it back. I haven't used it in a long time, but I think what it does is so if you're landing like all of your shots, it basically feeds on itself too. So like say you land a full mag of 100 shots, right? Well, it's gonna give you, say, I think 40% back. So it'll give you 40 of those rounds back. But out of those 40 rounds, if you land those 40 shots, it should give you the percentage of that back. And so it'll keep feeding on itself like that. And so it's perfect for a perk like Target Lock versus Reconstruction, where you got to pull a Lil Wayne and let the beat build. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, with rerun rounds, all you got to do is just lay on the trigger. And then with Axial War Rig, Because see, that's another thing. With reconstruction, active war rig isn't going to proc on that top half. But with rerun rounds, it's going to be just gunning. And so, yeah, that's as soon as I get that. Oof, recon and target. Exactly. Well, I mean, recon and target lock would be good at first. But see, that's the thing. Yeah, like I said, you have to pull a Lil Wayne and let the beat build. Yeah, you have to let the mag build up, right? And so that's why I think that you'll run into an annoying game where it's like, oh, my mag's not full, so let me let it build up. Which if you're doing damage with a special weapon, that's fine. But I think rewind rounds is better for that. Just run and go play style where it's like you ain't even gotta think about it. Just pull it out, lay on the trigger, wait till mag is empty. Like that's literally it. And I'm interested what enhanced rewind rounds will do too. And so since we can craft them, man, like I said.